Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. I know it has been a while for a variety of reasons that I don't want to get into right now, but I should finally be able to make regular videos again now, and I can't promise that they will be daily for the next couple weeks, but at least they should be more regular. So let's jump into a few stories that I've selected here, some of them that I'm catching up on, some that I just found interesting in general, and let's start out with something I don't generally talk about on this channel a lot, especially recently, and that is price predictions. Now, generally, if we're talking short-term price predictions, then I think the market analysis is all pretty much just a bunch of nonsense. It is not an established science. It does not have the kind of proven track record to really be that interesting to take too seriously. But when we're looking at longer term trends, I think there is a lot of value in looking at the long term movements, in extrapolating from them, in looking at trends. And this article sums up a few arguments for why the Bitcoin price in particular, but by extension the price of cryptocurrencies in general, could skyrocket significantly in the future. And a lot of this is stuff that I have said on the channel before in my own words. So let's take a look at this and then we'll talk about it briefly. This is relatively long, so stay with me. Since Bitcoin began to fall in early 2018, posting losses that would make even the most ambitious speculators cringe, mainstream media has claimed that the cryptocurrency is dead. In fact, over the past year, the number of Bitcoin obituaries has increased by dozens, if not hundreds, as the incumbents of the legacy world see the embryonic asset class as all but dead. But as crypto personality Scarface recently pointed out, this is far from the first time that Bitcoin fell dramatically, as the general public banked the Bitcoin is dead drum. In a recent thread, the notable analyst explained that a minimum of over 4 times, Bitcoin rallied parabolically before a drastic drawdown. The move from $20,000 to $3,150 was just the most recent circle, and this is his tweet. The 4 most dangerous words in investing are: "This time it's different," "Follow market trends and history," "Don't speculate that this particular time will be any different." And here you have essentially the movement up until now. 1 drop, 2nd drop, 3rd drop, 4th drop, and then a possible extrapolation over the next couple of years of where the price could go. Each time Bitcoin has crashed 70+%, the following cycle peak has been 5.1 to 16.89 times higher than the previous. Remember guys, this is pretty much what I've told you guys before. After every major crash, the next peak has been multiple times higher than the previous peak. If that happens again, then the next all-time high will be roughly 102,000 to 336,000. Roll the dice and take the risk, buy Bitcoin, he says. With this in mind, Scarface went on to write that it would be unfair to claim that there's a high likelihood the same boom and bust cycle won't occur again. Backing his call, which can be deemed optimistic, Scarface cites a quote from Sir John Templeton, in which the economist said that the 4 most dangerous words in investing are: "This time it's different." This reference is, of course, rebutting cynics' claim that Bitcoin won't violate to new all-time highs eventually. The crypto dog, an analyst that commands a following of over 100,000 on Twitter, also recently issued a similar comment. He explained that who's to say that Bitcoin won't run again. Dog writes that greed and market cycles are all pointing to eventual higher highs for cryptocurrencies. I absolutely agree here. I would add that in addition to market cycles and to looking at the previous development, we have also seen an unprecedented amount of attention coming into crypto, an unprecedented amount of attention coming from mainstream media, coming from mainstream investing, coming from massive companies and from banks, and they're all pushing a lot of money into crypto, certainly with the hopes that the prices will explode in the future. All of this money would not be coming in if all of these economists and analysts and investors didn't think that prices would go up and that this cryptocurrency space would be around for a long, long time. Doc didn't provide a prediction, but Scarface did. He writes that investors should roll the dice and buy Bitcoin, as Bitcoin could appreciate to 102,000 to 336,000 if it follows historical trends of rallying 5.1 to 16.8 times higher than its previous peak. Scarface isn't the only industry insider. He's not an industry insider, he's just an analyst on Twitter. Anyways, to have drawn attention to triple threes as a long-term target for the flagship cryptocurrency. Philp, a trader, noted that if Bitcoin follows the internet's growth cycle and continues to take traction in the global finance ecosystem, it could realistically garner a valuation of $250,000 in a few years' time. Plan B, also known as $100 trillion on Twitter, also made mention of this auspicious price point in a number of comments on the platform. Per previous reports from Ethereum World News, the researcher, who abides by the principles of Austrian economics, drew attention to stock-to-flow ratios and how it relates to the nascent Bitcoin space. He explains that Bitcoin currently has a stock-to-flow ratio of 24, thus making it undervalued by thousands of dollars when compared to the lower end of precious metals. Plan B wrote that if the market was to follow his investment thesis, Bitcoin would be fairly valued at $10,000 as it stands. But the analyst noted that once the block reward reduction activates, cutting Bitcoin issuance from 12.5 to 6.25 coins per block, Bitcoin stock to flow will fall dramatically, leaving Bitcoin undervalued by magnitudes. I think this is the end of the article. Yeah. So essentially we have here multiple arguments for why the Bitcoin price should go up in the future. The most compelling for me personally is looking at previous trends here, looking at previous cycles. Now, it is important to keep in mind that while I wouldn't quite say history necessarily repeats, but while history certainly rhymes, if you're talking about a clear movement in one direction, in this case, if you're talking about an upward movement, it cannot repeat forever. So at some point, these cycles will come to an end, will either turn around or will plateau, because at some point there is simply no further up to go. But I firmly believe that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general has not reached that point yet. So it is very, very good to look at these previous movements here, and I think we can gain a lot from them. I think if this really does continue going in the same direction, a 6-digit Bitcoin is not just likely, it's almost certain. Unless the market as a whole crashes, I think within 5 years we will see Bitcoin in the 6 digits, and we will see the rest of the markets appreciate according to that. So just wanted to read this article of the type that I don't usually read, just because I want to keep one thing in everyone's mind, and that is where the future of the crypto market is likely going. Many times we have had long periods where the markets looked to be dying, where a lot of people wrote them off. But especially in this cycle, we have so much going on in the background. We have so many major stock markets getting in on this, major banks getting in on this, major tech companies getting in on this, more and more people buying crypto. There is not that much farther to go down, but there is a lot farther to go up based on this. We are building a bottom right now. Who knows if that bottom will be in the low 3000s or if it will fall below that, but we are certainly building a bottom. And once we have fully reached that and stayed there for a while, the next peak is gonna be absolutely spectacular because we are establishing so much of a better foundation than ever before for it. So I'm hopeful, and I wanted to share this article with you guys because it makes some arguments in the same direction that I would take them. Let's briefly talk Ripple, because they are still embroiled in legal battles, but they keep making small but meaningful victories. A judge has ruled that an ongoing class action lawsuit against Ripple must remain in federal court, potentially giving the payments firm a slight advantage going forward. U.S. District Judge Phyllis Hamilton of the Northern District of California ruled Thursday that a class action lawsuit filed against Ripple and affiliated subsidiaries and individuals would not be shifted back to lower courts after lawyers for the company first moved to district court last year. This is a minor but meaningful victory for the firm, said Cobre Kim attorney Jake Chervinsky on Twitter. Stephen Pally, a partner at Anderson Kill, so many names, previously told CoinDesk that typically corporate defendants in cases feel more comfortable with federal courts as lower court juries and judges are locally selected and thus could be more sympathetic to plaintiffs. Chervinsky agreed, noting that Ripple fought hard to keep the case at the federal court level. The case centers around XRP. The plaintiffs in the case allege that Ripple issued the cryptocurrency as an unregistered securities offering, a claim Ripple has frequently denied. Ripple Labs, its subsidiary XRP2, and CEO Brett Garlinghouse and a number of other individuals have been named as defendants in the case. So this case has been in the news for a while, and it's looking like it will take years to fully resolve it, but every time it is in the news it is because Ripple managed to achieve some kind of victory, usually a minor one, but those add up. Of course, these court cases drag on and on and on, and we will hear a lot more stuff in the future, but it is looking like Ripple is keeping this under their control, and it looks like everything will likely turn out at least not catastrophic. I've talked about Samsung's new Galaxy S10 a couple times on the channel now, because we know for sure it will have crypto integration, but now we finally have some more details about how that crypto integration will actually turn out, because we knew there would be a wallet but not much more. The new Galaxy S10 series smartphone by South Korean tech giant Samsung will apparently have wallet functions for Ethereum, Bitcoin, and 2 other tokens. As Samsung officials spoke about the phone's new features at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona on February 25th. In its presentation, Samsung revealed various crypto and blockchain-related projects featured on the smartphone, including support for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cosme token, and Engine's token ENJ. Cosme is a blockchain-enabled mobile beauty decentralized app, no idea what that is or why it's necessary, but apparently it's a thing, where users can earn and spend Cosm tokens. Engine is a cryptocurrency wallet which will reportedly be installed in the new Galaxy S10. So it looks like the two other tokens that they support, the ones that aren't major cryptocurrencies, will be ones directly integrated into apps that Samsung is throwing their support behind. Cosme claims to have been selected by Samsung as their first partner dApp, supported by its upcoming smartphone, while NG can reportedly be used to send and receive ERC20 tokens and ERC1155 crypto game assets. So essentially we're getting much more than just Ethereum integration, but also integration for all of these tokens in a roundabout way through NG. Varying reports have surfaced regarding blockchain and crypto integration in Samsung's new phones. In December 2018, Samsung dismissed the idea of an integrated crypto wallet as rumor and speculation. Of course, they have to say that, because if information leaks, you can't just admit that. You have to attack the validity of those leaks. In January, leaked photographs of the new smartphone suggested that the Galaxy S10 would support an Ethereum wallet. And that is exactly what happened here. Now, I'm a bit disappointed in their choice to only support Bitcoin and Ethereum out of the major crypto tokens. I feel like they could have at least gotten the majority of the top 10 cryptocurrency projects in there before they start integrating completely obscure tokens like Cosm and ENJ. Has anyone heard of these before? Like Cosm, do you really want one of the first 4 tokens supported by a major smartphone to be for a decentralized beauty app? I'm a bit disappointed by that, but it is a step in the right direction, and I do hope that they upgrade this with support for many more cryptocurrencies, notable cryptocurrencies, and not like nothings like this in the future. Anyway, Bitcoin and Ethereum is a first step, and let's hope we see other stuff like EOS, like XRP, like a bunch of other top 10 coins in there soon. And last but not least, something else that I already mentioned before, and this is kind of outdated by now, but I do think it's important to mention it. Nasdaq more aggressively pushing towards crypto by finally listing a Bitcoin and Ethereum price index. Now, we knew they were going to list them, but now they've actually listed them. Nasdaq had begun live listings of 2 new cryptocurrency price indices from United States blockchain and crypto market data provider Brave New Coin, the latter confirmed in a post on February 26th. Originally announced earlier this month, the integration of BNC's Bitcoin Liquid Index and Ethereum Liquid Index will open up new data for clients using Nasdaq's Global Index Data service. The move comes ahead of BNC's plans to launch a separate index tracking the price of XRP. The token launched in US cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase Pro Tuesday, but it remains unknown whether Nasdaq will host the index, which is in the final stages of development. Now, we have no official announcement about that, but it seems very likely that once this index is also out, it will be added to Nasdaq. The Liquid Index program was born out of a need for clear and transparent price discovery of liquid cryptographic assets, and is a bigger need today than it was back in 2015 when we started this program. BNC CEO Fran Stachna commented in the post, I probably mispronounced that name, very sorry. As Cointelegraph reported, Nasdaq's own suite of cryptocurrency-related technology products is seeing increasing popularity. In particular, the company revealed last month that 7 exchanges were using its market monitoring tool, which helps track illegal market activities taking place via order books. CEO Adina Friedman has also publicly stated her belief in the long-term viability of servicing the cryptocurrency industry. So here we see yet another step from the mainstream financial world towards crypto. Getting these listed on the actual Nasdaq, on a Nasdaq software product, is big news, because this is what mainstream investors are interfacing with. And they will now see Bitcoin and Ethereum among all the major stock prices, and that will give considerable visibility to the cryptocurrency space. Hopefully we will see XRP added to that soon too, but this is also once again a good step in the right direction and shows us that crypto is not going anywhere. Crypto will be around for a long time, and all these major investors, these big investment firms, all the big money, they are all counting on crypto. And that brings us right back to this first article I talked about. Do you think Nasdaq, do you think major banks, do you think major credit card companies, do you think major fintech companies would be getting so heavily into crypto and integrating it everywhere if they didn't think that we would get a massive rally in the future, that prices wouldn't go significantly higher than they are now. Everybody who pushes all this into the crypto space thinks the prices are going up. Don't listen to the doom and gloom people who are telling you that crypto is dead. They have been wrong every other time, and they are wrong this time as well. And with that, I'm gonna end this video. Sorry for my long hiatus. It was unintentional, but I had my reasons, believe me. And hopefully videos will become a lot more structured and more frequent again. As always, if you want to read any of these articles yourself, they will be linked in the description. If you enjoy my content and would like me to support me, there are ways to do so in the description. If you want to follow me on social media, also in the description. And thank you so much for watching.